age, Nevarra is a small but thriving nation located in central Thadis, sandwiched between Tevinter and Olay, and known for its art, tombs, and strong military tradition. Since the Exalted Age, Nevarra has been its own kingdom. Its capital, Nevarra City, is located along the Minimeta River and is home to the kings of Nevarra and the seat of the Mortalatazi, the Grand Necropolis. The current king, Marcus Pentagast, is an elderly man of waning health, who is said to rely heavily on his Mortalatazi advisors. His heir, his younger brother Ferdinand, is best known for dragon hunting and researching dragon's blood. His work includes his book, Discovering Dragon's Blood, Potions, Tinctures, and Spicy Sauces, where he details the process of bleeding dragons, hint, it's tricky, as well as suggesting a number of magical and culinary uses. He has expressed no desire to become the next king, but most people assume another Pentagast shall follow Marcus and Ferdinand in ruling Nevarra. Nevarra's true power does not lie at the ancestral seat of the Pentagasts in Hunterfell, or within its capital, however, but in its main centre of trade, at the city of Cumberland. Cumberland is located on the River Humber along the Waking Sea. It is described as one of Thadis' largest cities, 3 times the size of Denerim, the capital of Ferelden. It is the centre of power for the circles of Magi, its circle now housed in a former palace once belonging to a duchess, with a massive golden dome and spires. Here the College of Magi convenes, and here also the Grand Enchanter, who leads all of the mages and advises the Divine herself, dwells. Cumberland's impact, however, extends beyond its circle of Magi. Its cobblestone streets are home to numerous 3-story buildings, each with ornate facades. Most of these streets are large enough for carts and traders, and are lined with statues of Nevarran heroes. The city itself is divided into districts, as is much of Nevarra, keeping people apart by class and wealth. In the wealthiest districts, one can find grand noble estates, housing families like the Anaxes and the Forsythias. The Forsythias are a famous and powerful Nevarran noble family, whose influence extends throughout Thadis, and whose current family head, the Duchess Amalia Forsythia, has kept their interest decidedly neutral in regards to the coming Pentagast succession, and thus earned her family a reputation as being above political squabbles. Another member, Tessa Forsythia, serves as an agent of the Inquisition, and a handler for the mage killer, Marius. The Anaxis' family rules Cumberland under the current Duke Sandral Anaxis. Duchess Ravria Anaxis is best known for her Summer Duchess's Games, a contest of wit, philosophy, and rhetoric she hosts annually. Cumberland also has its own tournament grounds, but these are geared towards archery and swordplay over jousting due to Nevarran tradition. It is also the location of a substantial surface dwarf district called the Dragon's Den, and it is from this location that the nation gets the name of its currency, the dragon. The Dragon's Den features a famous tavern called the Diamond Lass, and it appears for all intents and purposes that the Merchants Guild of the Surface Dwarfs has a large presence in Cumberland. This makes sense, seeing as we should expect to see a large Merchants Guild presence in such a massive trade hub. Much of the entertainment in society in Nevarra now occurs in Cumberland, though the nobility appears to split its time between Cumberland and Nevarra City. These 2 cities jointly make up the heart of Nevarran culture, boasting seasonal entertainments that appeal to every class. In summer, the streets are lined with coloured flags and market stalls which are known to sell candied fruit, rare wines, and leather goods. The lower classes are known to swim in the Minimeta and the Humber. Duchess Ravria's games are hosted at the Anaxis estate in Cumberland and attract scholars from all over for tea and fierce debate. But the revelries of summer soon fade into the grand autumnal display, and Nevarra's true heart is revealed with the turning of the seasons. In the fall, the Mortalatazi engage in sacred rites. Outside the Grand Necropolis, on the boulevard leading to the Castum Draconis where the king resides, ancient heroes and kings and queens stand watch in polished black marble. The streets are lit by lantern light, and families hire performers to ancestral pageants to reenact the deeds of the past in elaborate displays to honour their ancestors and the dead. Massive battle reenactments take place, with performers clad in the famous dragonbone ebony armour of the Pentagast kings. It is tradition for the public to pay these players with coppers, though families now compete in ever flashier displays, and most performers are paid in larger amounts in today's age. With the chill of winter, the Minimeta freezes, and Nevarra truly comes to life. Entertainment includes ice skating, or enjoying roasted chestnuts and hot, spiced tea. But the real entertainment comes from the hunt balls. The winter season is the traditional time for dragon hunting, because in the colder months dragons are sluggish and easier to track and kill. The hunt balls were held even after dragons were thought extinct, and feature couples clad in armour and garbed in red flowing costumes, dancing lively dances. Most are said to open with a galliard, an actual dance in our own world that dates back to the Renaissance, which involves a lot of hopping and skipping, and does not look entirely helpful against dragons, all things considered. But who knows? Fighting dragons means you should be light on your feet, and if the Pentagast drove them to extinction once, maybe it did actually help. Who can say? At the turn of the season and the reappearance of spring, the Minimeta melts, and everyone heads outside for the Winter's End tournaments held in Cumberland's tournament grounds. Nevarra's military tradition is on full display in a contest of arms and archery that remains a point of pride into the modern age. Nevarra has a rich cultural history, and its traditions are now long ingrained in Thaddeus' collective memory. Its impact on the world cannot be denied, from its role as the bulwark against the wave of imperial power from Orlais, and as the breeding ground of theological and philosophical discussion that ranges from the question of trade and nationhood to the role of magic and mages in politics, and the very cusp of death itself. Nevarra is now a country as powerful as Orlais, and while it is best known for its dragon hunts and its reigning Pentagast monarchy, it has gifted the world with its own displays of theatre and story and magnificence. Ancient Nevarrans held their ground against the Neramenians, supported by the old god Dumat, and Nevarra city was a stronghold of Andraste during her invasion of the Imperium. Its religious significance is not weakened in the face of its associations with the Mortalitazi, but strengthened, creating a land that is built on surety, certainty, strength, and faith. Nevarra boasts some of the most enlightened mages in the world, and practices that go beyond mere dragon hunting into technological advancements in the fields of biology and even culinary arts, assuming you enjoy powdered dragon blood in your dinner. Its people are proud, capable, and strong, but divided by a sitting monarchy many feel has ruled too long, and a class system that can often prevent its poorest members from enjoying Nevarra's greatest cultural treasures. Nevarra itself was never born. It carved its place into the world, and holds that territory through blood and strength and might, withstanding the forces of both Tevinter and Orlais, even unto today. Its noble families are recognized as powerful voices across Thaddeus, uniting the nobility across borders as far as Antiva and Tevinter, and are placed in position of power in groups as insulated as the Circle of Magi, and as elite as the Chantry itself. Nevarra proves a fascinating study because its strength is no mere claim, but tested over and over again. It has borne the brunt of blights and war throughout its history. Its bloody past has led to a Nevarra that can stand firm against all else, and that revels in its own military might. Nevarra stands, and stands tall, the only free marcher city-state to ever become a true territorial nation. In its strength holds the balance in Thaddeus, between the Chantry and the Mages, Tevinter and Orlais, the Darkspawn and mankind, and the living and the dead. Thank you for watching this series. If you enjoyed this, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Our next series will cover what we know of the Dwarven Tigers and the history of the Deep Roads. Patreon supporters do have early access to additional meta lore and theory work, as well as a community feed. Special thanks to my current Patreon supporters, without whom videos like this would not be possible. And that's it for me, guys.